Step away from that table. Officer Marcus Hale plants one hand on the defense bench and blocks Naomi Brooks from reaching her younger brother. The courtroom clock reads 9:17 a.m. Behind her, 40 people sit in tight rows, watching a black woman hold a sealed blue folder against her chest. Naomi does not raise her voice. "My brother has a motion before the court," she says. "The judge needs to hear it." Hale smirks and taps the badge on his chest. "You do not give orders in here." Before this goes further, subscribe for more stories where dignity stands tall when power goes too far. A young clerk near the witness desk stops typing. Her eyes drop to the blue seal on Naomi's folder, then lift fast toward Hale. Hale notices too late. Naomi steps 1 inch closer to the bench. "Officer," she says, "you should read what you are trying to block." Judge Raymond Pike enters from the side door, robe still open at the collar. "All rise," the bailiff calls. Everyone stands except Elijah, whose hands tremble against the defense table. Naomi stays beside him, calm, straight-backed, holding the folder where Hale can see the blue seal. Hale reaches for it. Naomi pulls it back. "Do not touch sealed evidence," she says. A low murmur rolls through the gallery. Hale's face tightens. He looks at the judge, then at the phones rising from the third row. "This woman is disrupting court," Hale says. "She came here to intimidate officers." Naomi turns toward the bench. "Your Honor, I request permission to submit proof tied to my brother's arrest." The clerk's fingers freeze above her keyboard. Hale steps closer until his shoulder nearly touches Naomi's. "Sit down," he says. Naomi does not move. Then the judge looks at the folder and asks one question that makes Hale blink hard in front of everyone. "Officer Hale," Judge Pike says, "why is a military evidence seal in my courtroom?" Hale's mouth opens, but no answer comes. Naomi keeps her eyes on the bench. Elijah looks at her like he wants to ask the same question, but fear pins him to his chair. Hale turns on Naomi instead. "She is another angry woman trying to run a courtroom," he says. A gasp breaks from the back row. One man lowers his phone as if the words burn through the screen. The clerk, Tasha Reed, reaches under her desk and presses a small red button beside the recorder. Naomi hears the click. She does not smile. "Your Honor," she says, "I ask that Officer Hale step back from the defense table." Hale laughs once, loud enough for the gallery. "You think a folder gives you power?" Then he leans close and says the words no one expects a court officer to say aloud in open court today. "Keep pretending," Hale says. "When this judge is done, your brother goes down, and you follow him." Naomi's jaw tightens, but her voice stays level. "You are threatening me in open court." Hale points at Elijah. "I am warning both of you." Judge Pike raises his hand. "Officer, step back." Hale ignores him. The gallery goes still. A phone camera catches Hale's badge, Naomi's folder, and the clerk's red recording light blinking beneath the desk. Tasha's lips part like she wants to speak, but Hale cuts his eyes toward her. She looks down again. Naomi sees it. She places the folder on the defense table, still sealed, still untouched. "Your Honor," she says, "I need the court to preserve every recording from this room." Hale scoffs. "You think you scare me?" Naomi turns her face toward him. "No," she says, "I think the record does." The bailiff reaches out, then freezes too. Then Hale moves before anyone can stop him. Hale's palm cracks across Naomi's cheek right before the judge's eyes. The sound jumps off the courtroom walls. Elijah surges up, but Naomi lifts one hand without looking at him. He stops, breathing hard, trapped between rage and fear. Hale stands over her like the slap has settled the matter. "Now sit down," he says. No one moves. Judge Pike's face drains of color. A woman in the second row whispers, "He hit her." Another phone rises. The clerk's recorder keeps blinking red under the desk. Naomi turns her head slowly back toward Hale. Her cheek burns, but her hands stay steady. She touches the sealed blue folder once, as if checking that it remains safe. "Officer Hale," she says, quiet enough to make the whole room lean in, "you have just made the record complete." Hale's smile falters. Judge Pike grips the bench, and the clerk finally stands with both hands shaking. "Your Honor," Tasha says, "there is more." 6 hours before Tasha stands in that courtroom, Naomi Brooks ties her shoes at the edge of her mother's kitchen chair. Elijah stands by the sink in a pressed white shirt that still has the store crease down the sleeve. He grips a stack of court papers so hard the corners bend. His daughter's pink backpack sits beside his feet, a reminder of the custody meeting waiting after court. Their mother, Denise, moves between the stove and the table without eating. A pot of oatmeal bubbles untouched. Her prayer book lies open beside a cold mug of tea. "Naomi," Denise says, "promise me you will not let them pull you out of yourself." Naomi looks up. "I am not the one on trial." Denise stops moving. The words hit the room harder than they should. Elijah lowers his eyes. "That has never stopped them," Denise says. A knock lands at the apartment door. Elijah flinches. Naomi rises first. She crosses the small living room and checks the peephole. A courier in a gray jacket holds a flat blue package against his chest. The label shows her name, rank abbreviated, and a military return stamp from Oakland. Naomi opens the door only halfway. "Captain Brooks?" She nods. "Signature required." Elijah steps out from the kitchen. "What is that?" Naomi signs, takes the package, and closes the door. She does not answer him yet. She feels Denise watching from behind her, one hand pressed to the edge of the table. The package weighs less than a book, but the room changes around it. Naomi carries it to the kitchen. She slices the tape with a butter knife and pulls out a sealed blue folder, a flash drive in a clear sleeve, and a one-page chain of custody form. The folder carries a raised seal and 3 red stamps. Elijah reads the first stamp and stiffens. "Naomi, why does that say restricted?" "Because someone altered a record," she says. Denise grips the back of a chair. Elijah shakes his head. "They claim I shove Officer Hale during the traffic stop. They claim his body cam fails. They claim the dash cam angle misses it." Naomi places the flash drive beside the folder. "The dispatch log does not fail." Elijah's face tightens. "You found something." "I requested what they refused to give your lawyer." Denise steps closer, voice low. "And if they say you had no right?" Naomi slides the chain of custody form toward her mother. "I have the right." Elijah reads the form, then looks at Naomi like he sees a part of her she has kept out of family rooms for years. His phone buzzes. He checks the screen and goes still. It is Marcy. Naomi knows the name before he says more. Elijah's ex-wife has already warned him that one conviction, one ugly headline, one courtroom outburst gives her lawyer enough to reopen custody. Elijah answers on speaker because his hands shake too much. Marcy's voice cuts through the kitchen. "Do not embarrass our daughter today." Elijah closes his eyes. Naomi reaches for the phone, but he pulls it back. "I am going to court," he says. "You are going to lose," Marcy says. "If that judge sees what they wrote in that report, I am filing before sunset." Denise whispers, "Lord, hold his heart." Marcy hangs up. For 3 seconds, no one moves. Then Elijah's daughter, Layla, appears in the hallway wearing her school uniform, one braid loose near her cheek. She looks at her father's face, then at Naomi's folder. "Daddy, are the police taking you away?" Elijah drops to one knee. "No, baby." But his voice cracks. Naomi steps between Layla and the court papers. She kneels too, keeping the folder behind her back. "Your daddy is coming home," she says. Layla studies Naomi's face. "You promise?" Naomi does not blink. "I promise I will stand beside him." A car horn sounds outside. Denise grabs Elijah's suit jacket from the chair and brushes lint from the shoulder with shaking fingers. Her mouth moves through another prayer. Naomi changes into plain black slacks and a cream blouse. She leaves her dress uniform in the closet. She places her credentials inside her purse, then hides the sealed folder under a simple leather binder. Elijah watches the choice. Why not wear the uniform? Naomi looks toward the window, where morning light hits the bars of the fire escape. "Because I need Officer Hale to show the court who he is before he sees who I am." Downstairs, a police cruiser idles across the street. No lights, no siren, only Hale in the driver's seat, watching their building. His fingers rest on the steering wheel. His radio stays silent. When Naomi appears at the door, he lifts his phone and starts recording first, without smiling at all. Hale lowers his phone only after Naomi reaches the sidewalk. Elijah keeps Layla close to Denise as they pass the cruiser. Hale watches like he owns the curb, the street, and every step toward the courthouse. His window slides down halfway. "Big day, Elijah," he says. "Try not to put your hands on another officer." Elijah stops. Naomi places one hand against his arm before he turns. Her grip is light, but the warning is clear. Do not give Hale the scene he wants. Denise pulls Layla toward the waiting rideshare. "Keep walking," Naomi says. Hale smiles through the open window. "Listen to your sister. She knows how this ends." Naomi looks at his phone, still angled toward them. Recording without context helps no one. "It helps me," Hale says. The courthouse rises 3 blocks away, gray stone, metal doors, flags snapping in the morning wind. Naomi walks ahead with the leather binder tucked under her arm. The sealed folder stays, hidden inside it. Elijah follows, breathing through his nose, fighting every answer trapped behind his teeth. At the security checkpoint, Hale appears again. He steps through the officer's entrance with no line, no search, no delay. He taps the side of the scanner and nods at the deputy on duty. "They are with the assault case," Hale says. "Watch the brother. He gets jumpy." The deputy looks at Elijah longer than needed. Naomi sets her purse in the tray. Her credentials stay inside a zipped pocket. She watches Hale watch her. He expects a reaction. She gives him procedure. "Am I being searched under a special order?" she asks. The deputy blinks. Hale laughs from behind him. She likes big words. Naomi does not look at Hale. "Is there a special order?" she asks again. The deputy waves her through. "No, ma'am. Standard screening." Hale's smile thins. He turns before the deputy sees it. Naomi collects her purse, checks the binder, and keeps moving. Outside Department 12, the hallway is packed with traffic cases, custody disputes, and families holding folders against their chests. A boy in a school uniform cries into his grandmother's coat. An older man coughs near the vending machine. The air smells of floor cleaner and fear. Elijah spots his public defender near the courtroom doors. "Miss Kerr," he calls. The young lawyer turns, juggling a laptop bag and 3 files. Relief crosses her face when she sees Naomi. "I was hoping you made it," she says. Hale cuts between them. "Counselor, your client should not be coaching witnesses in the hallway." Ms. Kerr stiffens. She is his sister. She is interfering. Naomi steps aside, not back. "I brought a document for counsel." Hale holds out his hand. "I will take that." "No," Naomi says. The word lands clean. People nearby stop pretending not to listen. Hale leans closer. "You do not hand evidence around my case." Ms. Kerr raises her chin. "Officer, if she has material for the defense, she gives it to me." Hale turns his badge toward the lawyer. "And if it is stolen police property?" The lawyer hesitates. That tiny pause gives Hale more room. He steps nearer to Naomi until the binder almost touches his vest. "Open it." Naomi keeps both hands still. "Not in the hallway." A door opens behind them. A clerk in a navy cardigan steps out carrying a stack of docket sheets. Her name tag reads, Tasha Reed. She looks at Hale first, then at Elijah. Her face loses color. Hale notices her. "Morning, Tasha," he says. The papers shift in her hands. "Officer Hale." Naomi sees the reaction. It is not dislike. It is fear with memory attached to it. Tasha starts to speak to Ms. Kerr, but Hale turns his body slightly, blocking her from the group. "Department 12 is ready," he says. "No hallway conferences." Ms. Kerr whispers to Naomi, "Give it to me inside." Hale hears enough. If she passes one paper before the judge calls this case, I am reporting witness tampering. Elijah's shoulders drop. Naomi's voice stays low. "You just called me a witness." Hale blinks once. A man on the bench across the hall raises his phone. Hale points at him. "Put that away." The man obeys. Tasha grips the docket sheets tighter. One page slips free and lands near Naomi's shoe. Naomi bends to pick it up. A handwritten sticky note clings to the back. "Do not let Hale see file B." Tasha reaches for it too fast. Naomi covers the note with her fingers and hands the sheet back without a word. Tasha's eyes fill with panic. Hale looks from one woman to the other. "What was that?" he asks. Naomi faces him calmly. "A dropped page." Hale steps toward Tasha now. "Then why are you shaking badly?" "Because you are standing too close to her," Naomi says. Hale turns back slowly. A few people in the hallway look up. Tasha holds the docket sheets against her chest like a shield. Ms. Kerr steps toward the courtroom door, but Hale blocks the opening with his body. "Nobody enters until I say so," he says. A deputy near the metal detector hears him and looks away. Naomi sees it. So does Elijah. Tasha swallows. "Officer, the judge is waiting." Hale snatches one docket sheet from her stack and scans it. Elijah Brooks, assault on a peace officer, resisting, interference. He reads the words loud enough for the hallway to hear. Elijah closes his fists. Naomi touches his sleeve. "Breathe." Hale smiles at that. "Yes, Elijah, breathe. We do not need another performance." The woman beside the vending machine lifts her phone again. This time, Hale does not see her. Naomi does. She notes the red recording dot and turns her face slightly away from it, keeping the binder tight under her arm. The courtroom doors open. Hale waves the others inside, like he owns the room. "Defense table," Ms. Kerr says to Elijah. Naomi follows. Hale steps into her path. "Not you. Gallery." Ms. Kerr turns. She is assisting the defense. "She is family," Hale says. "Family sits in the back." Naomi does not argue. She walks to the first row behind Elijah. Denise and Layla sit beside her. Layla reaches for Naomi's hand under the bench. Hale watches the child, then looks at Naomi. "Good choice," he says. The words make Denise stiffen. Court staff move through the room. A reporter settles near the aisle with a notepad. 2 officers stand near the wall. The judge has not entered yet, but Hale already acts like his voice carries the weight of the bench. Tasha sits at the clerk's desk. She keeps her eyes on the computer screen. Her hands move, but her fingers keep missing keys. Naomi opens her leather binder on her lap. She writes one line on a blank page. "Officer Marcus Hale, hallway threat, 8:46 a.m. Hale sees her pen move. He crosses the aisle. "What are you writing?" Naomi closes the binder. "My notes." "Hand them over." "No." A murmur rises behind them. Hale bends down until his shadow covers Naomi's page. "I said hand them over." Naomi looks up. "I heard you." Elijah pushes back his chair. Naomi raises one finger without looking at him. He freezes. Hale laughs under his breath. "She trains you well." Denise whispers Naomi's name, warning and prayer mixed together. Hale straightens and points toward the back row. "Move!" Naomi stays seated. "Why?" "Because I said so. This row is open. You are too close to the defendant." Ms. Kerr stands. "Officer, she is not causing trouble." Hale turns toward the gallery. "Ladies and gentlemen, this woman is trying to influence a criminal proceeding." Heads turn. Phones shift. Layla pulls closer to Denise. Elijah's face hardens with shame. Naomi rises slowly. She moves to the third row. Hale follows her with his eyes until she sits. Then he walks to Tasha's desk and speaks low. Tasha's shoulders lift. She shakes her head once. Hale leans closer. Naomi cannot hear the words, but she sees Tasha's right hand slide toward the side drawer. Hale places his palm on the drawer before she opens it. Tasha stops. Naomi writes again. Clerk afraid. Drawer blocked. Hale spins back. "Still writing?" Naomi keeps the page open this time. "Badge number, please." The courtroom goes quieter. Hale blinks. "What?" "Your badge number." He smiles, but anger pushes through it. "You do not need my badge number." Naomi writes his name again. "I asked for it." Hale steps into the aisle. "Move again." A man in the second row whispers, "Why does she keep moving?" Hale points at him. "Eyes forward." Naomi stands and moves to the last row. Denise starts to rise with Layla, but Naomi shakes her head. "Stay." The separation hits Elijah hard. He turns, seeing his sister pushed farther from him in a room built to hear truth. Hale faces the gallery. "Courtrooms require order," Some people need help learning that. A few people look away. Nobody challenges him. Naomi sits alone near the back wall. She places the binder on her knees and opens it just enough to touch the sealed blue folder inside. Tasha looks up at that exact moment. Her face changes. Not fear this time. Recognition. Then the side door opens, and the bailiff calls for everyone to rise. Before Judge Pike reaches the bench, Hale steps beside Naomi's row again and drops his voice. "One word from you, and I drag you out." Tasha hears every word, and her hand reaches for the small recorder. Judge Pike enters with his robe still moving behind him. Everyone stands. Naomi stands last, not from defiance, but because Hale blocks her row with his body. His whisper still hangs between them. "One word from you, and I drag you out." Tasha's finger rests near the recorder button. Her eyes stay on Hale. The judge reaches the bench and looks over the courtroom. "Be seated." Chairs scrape. Elijah lowers himself beside Ms. Kerr. Denise keeps one arm around Layla. Naomi remains standing in the last row. Hale turns fast. "What did I say?" Naomi does not answer him. She looks at the bench. "Your Honor, before this matter begins, I request permission to approach counsel with material evidence tied to Mr. Brooks's arrest." Hale steps into the aisle. She has no standing. Judge Pike adjusts his glasses. "Who are you, ma'am?" Naomi keeps her hands visible. "Naomi Brooks, Elijah's sister." Hale cuts in. "And a witness with a personal interest." Ms. Kerr stands. "Your Honor, if Ms. Brooks possesses evidence, the defense should review it." Hale laughs once. "Defense wants a circus." The judge looks at him. "Officer Hale, I did not ask you." For the first time, Hale closes his mouth. Naomi takes one step forward. Hale matches it, shoulder turned toward her like a gate. "Back to your seat," he says. Naomi stops before touching him. "Your Honor, I am being blocked from giving counsel evidence that may affect probable cause." Hale points at the binder. That binder contains restricted police material. She refuses inspection. That alone should tell the court what she is doing. Tasha's hand tightens on the edge of the desk. The judge looks at Naomi. "Do you have the material with you?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Is it sealed?" "Yes." "Bring it to counsel." Hale moves first. "No." The word cuts through the courtroom. The bailiff turns his head. The reporter near the aisle stops writing. Layla grips Denise's sleeve and whispers, "Why is he yelling at Aunt Naomi?" Naomi takes another step. Hale plants his palm against the end of the pew. She stays where she is. Judge Pike leans forward. "Officer Hale." Hale does not look back. "Your Honor, I am protecting the integrity of this case." Naomi opens the binder. The blue folder shows for 1 second. A raised seal catches the overhead light. 3 red stamps line the bottom edge. A chain form sits clipped to the front. Only the top marking is visible, but it is enough. Hale's face changes. The smirk leaves. His eyes flick from the seal to Naomi's hands, then to the judge. He takes half a step back before he catches himself. Tasha sees it. Ms. Kerr sees it. Naomi sees all of them see it. Hale's voice drops. "Close that." The judge notices the shift. "Officer, do you recognize that seal?" Hale's jaw tightens. "No, Your Honor." Naomi closes the binder halfway. Not enough to hide the folder, not enough to reveal more. "Then why did you tell me to close it?" A murmur passes through the gallery. The woman with the phone lifts it higher. Hale snaps his head toward her, but the judge speaks first. "Officer Hale, face the bench." Hale turns back slowly. Naomi moves down the aisle. Each step is measured. Her cheek is not bruised yet, but the pressure in the room already feels like a hand reaching forward. She reaches Ms. Kerr's table. Hale steps between them again. "Stop!" Naomi looks at the space between his hand and her binder. "Do not touch me." Elijah rises halfway. "Naomi!" She lifts 2 fingers. "Sit." He sits, but his knee hits the table hard enough to shake his papers. Ms. Kerr extends her hand for the binder. Hale blocks her too. "This is evidence contamination," he says. "She is using fake authority to scare this court." Tasha makes a small sound. Hale hears it and turns. "What?" Tasha lowers her eyes. Naomi places the binder flat on the defense table without releasing it. Your Honor, I request that the court mark this as tendered, not admitted, pending review by counsel. The judge nods. That is proper. Hale's confidence hardens again. He steps closer until his vest almost touches Naomi's shoulder. You do not decide what is proper in here, he says. Naomi turns her head. Calm. No, the record does. The judge raises a hand. Officer Hale, step away. Hale stares at the blue edge of the folder. His face shows fear for one breath, then anger covers it. He reaches for Naomi's arm and says, You are leaving now. Tasha stands so fast her chair strikes the wall. The courtroom turns toward her. Hale freezes, one hand still inches from Naomi, as Tasha looks at the sealed stamp again. Tasha stays on her feet, but no words leave her mouth. Hale drops his hand from Naomi's arm and turns the room toward himself. Your Honor, this is exactly what I warned about, he says. She is threatening officers, frightening court staff, and pretending that a sealed folder gives her control. Naomi keeps one hand on the binder. She does not look at Tasha. She gives the clerk space to breathe, even as every face turns her way. Judge Pike studies Hale. What threat did she make? Hale points at Naomi. She told me not to touch her. A ripple moves through the gallery. Ms. Kerr rises, her chair scraping behind her. That is not a threat, she says. That is a boundary. Hale snaps toward her. Counselor, control your witness. She is not my witness yet, Ms. Kerr says. Yet, Hale repeats. So there is a plan. Naomi opens the binder just enough to slide one blank sheet free. She writes the time at the top, 9:12 a.m. Then she writes Hale's words while he watches. His neck reddens. Judge Pike taps his pen once. Ms. Brooks, are you requesting that this court preserve video and audio from this courtroom? Yes, Your Honor. Hale steps forward. She is manufacturing a scene. Naomi looks up. Then the recording protects you too. The sentence lands clean. Hale has no quick answer. Tasha lowers herself into her chair. Her hand hovers above the recorder switch, but she does not press it. Her eyes move between Hale's face and the blue folder. Judge Pike turns to her. Ms. Reed, is the courtroom recording active? Tasha looks at Hale first. Naomi sees that look. So does the judge. Hale smiles without warmth. Answer the judge, Tasha. Her throat moves. Yes, Your Honor, she says. The main recording is active. Naomi hears the word main and writes it down. Hale hears it too. Why would you phrase it that way? He asks. Tasha's fingers clutch the keyboard. Standard wording. Is it? Hale asks. Judge Pike raises his voice. Officer Hale, enough. Hale lifts both hands in surrender, but his eyes stay on Tasha. The warning sits there, clear and sharp. Elijah leans toward Ms. Kerr. What is happening? Ms. Kerr whispers, stay still. Denise holds Layla closer in the first row. Layla stares at Naomi's cheek, confused before any bruise exists. She senses fear moving through adults and starts rubbing the corner of her backpack strap. Hale points toward Naomi again. Your Honor, she has a documented history of aggressive conduct around officers. Naomi's eyes narrow for the first time. Judge Pike looks at the file in front of him. I have no such document. I can't provide it, Hale says. From where? My department. Ms. Kerr steps forward. If Officer Hale refers to prior military service or protected personnel records, he needs a lawful basis. Hale turns too fast. You do not know what I have. Naomi closes the binder. But I know what you lack. The room goes still. Hale smiles, but this time it looks forced. There it is, more intimidation. Judge Pike looks at Naomi. Clarify your statement. Naomi keeps her voice low. He lacks permission to discuss any protected record he claims to possess. Tasha's eyes lift. Recognition flickers again. Hale sees it and attacks the opening. Tasha, he says, tell the judge what happened in the hallway. Her face drains. Judge Pike turns. Ms. Reed? Hale steps toward the clerk's desk. Tell him she passed you a note. Tell him she tried to pull you into this. Tell him she came here to pressure people. Naomi does not interrupt. Tasha looks at the page on her desk, then at the drawer Hale blocked earlier. Her lips part. No sound comes. Hale's voice softens, which makes it worse. Tell the truth. The gallery waits. The woman with the phone records from her lap. The red dot reflects in the bench. Tasha swallows hard. I dropped a docket sheet, she says. Hale's face tightens. And? Naomi watches Tasha's hands. And Ms. Brooks picked it up. Hale leans closer. Did she read what was on it? Tasha looks at Naomi, apology already in her eyes. I do not know. Hale turns back to the judge, like he has won. There, interference. Naomi lifts one finger toward the ceiling camera. Your Honor, I renew my request. Preserve every angle, including hallway footage, clerk station audio, and any secondary recording system. Hale's head snaps toward Tasha. Secondary. The word reaches her like a bell. Judge Pike looks at Naomi, then Tasha. Ms. Reed, he says, is there a secondary system? Hale moves toward Naomi before Tasha answers. One last time, he says. Leave this courtroom now. Naomi stands straight. Tasha slowly opens the drawer. The drawer opens 3 inches. Hale turns toward the sound, and Tasha stops moving. Her hand rests inside the drawer, hidden from the room. The judge sees the motion. Naomi sees Hale measure the distance between himself and the clerk's desk. Ms. Reed, Judge Pike says, do not remove anything yet. Tasha nods once. Her breathing changes, shallow but steady. Hale points at the open drawer. Your Honor, court staff should not be searching files during argument. Naomi slides the blue folder from the binder and places it flat on the defense table. Then let the court start with what is already here. Ms. Kerr steps beside her. Your Honor, the defense asks to mark this packet for identification only. Hale moves fast. Objection! Unknown source. Naomi keeps her palm on the folder. The source is listed on the chain form. Judge Pike looks down from the bench. Counsel, bring it forward. Ms. Kerr reaches for the folder. Hale steps between her and the table. This is improper. The bailiff moves closer now. Judge Pike's voice hardens. Officer Hale, move aside. Hale holds his place for one more second, then shifts half a step. Ms. Kerr takes the folder and carries it to the bench. Every eye follows the blue cover. Naomi remains at the defense table. She does not chase the proof. She lets the room watch the judge touch it. Judge Pike reads the top page. His face changes before he speaks. Dispatch log, timestamp, unit response sheet. Hale crosses his arms. Logs are often incomplete. The judge turns the page. Body cam activation record. Hale's jaw flexes. Ms. Kerr steps forward. Your Honor, the police report claims Officer Hale's body camera failed before contact with Mr. Brooks. Judge Pike looks at the record again. This says the camera activates at 7:42 p.m. and stays active for 23 minutes. Elijah's hand grabs the edge of the table. Denise covers her mouth. Hale lets out a short breath. Activation does not mean footage exists. Naomi writes that down. Judge Pike notices. Ms. Brooks, why did you request these records? Hale turns on her. She does not answer that. Judge Pike lifts his eyes. I decide who answers. Naomi stands straight. Because the report lists a body cam failure before the arrest, but the dispatch record lists a full upload after the arrest. A whisper moves through the courtroom. The reporter begins writing again, faster this time. Hale points at Naomi. She has no technical knowledge of our system. Naomi does not correct him. Ms. Kerr speaks instead. The defense also asks the court to note a signed complaint attached to the packet. Judge Pike turns another page. A complaint from Lawrence Bell. Hale's face tightens. Naomi sees it. Ms. Kerr steps closer. Mr. Bell reports a traffic stop by Officer Hale 3 months before Elijah Brooks's arrest. Same location, same charge language, same body cam failure claim. The gallery reacts louder now. Judge Pike strikes the bench once with his palm. Quiet. Hale shakes his head. A complaint is not proof. Naomi looks at him. Then why is it missing from discovery? That question hits the room harder than an accusation. Tasha closes her eyes. Hale snaps toward her. Do not. The judge catches it. Do not what, officer? Hale turns back. Nothing, Your Honor. Tasha's hand leaves the drawer. She places a small black key on the desk. It makes a tiny sound, but Naomi hears it. The judge hears it too. What is that key for? He asks. Tasha's voice trembles. Archive Cabinet B. Hale's face goes flat. Judge Pike looks from Tasha to Hale. Does Cabinet B contain court-held duplicate recordings? Tasha looks at Naomi. For the first time all morning, she takes a full breath. Yes, Your Honor. Hale steps toward the clerk's desk. She is confused. The bailiff blocks him. Public shock moves through the rows. Phones rise higher. Elijah looks at Naomi with tears held back by force. Judge Pike returns to the packet. Counsel, the report before me states Mr. Brooks struck Officer Hale at 7:48 p.m. Ms. Kerr nods. Yes, Your Honor. The judge taps the dispatch log. This log shows Officer Hale requests backup at 7:46 p.m. for a non-compliant driver, but lists no injury, no assault, and no emergency code. Hale's voice cuts in. I had control of the scene. Then, why did your report state immediate danger? Hale says nothing. Naomi watches him choose silence for the first time. Tasha unlocks Cabinet B from her desk panel. A small green light appears beside her monitor. Judge Pike leans forward. Ms. Reed, what opened? Tasha looks at Hale, then Naomi, then the judge. The duplicate evidence archive, she says. And there is a file under Elijah Brooks's case number. Tasha's words hang over the courtroom. A file under Elijah Brooks's case number. Hale steps back from the bailiff, but his eyes stay fixed on the green light beside Tasha's monitor. That archive is not for public review, he says. Judge Pike looks at him. No one asks the public to review it. Hale turns toward the bench. Your Honor, this entire room is being manipulated by a civilian with a personal agenda. Naomi stands at the defense table. The blue folder stays closed beneath her hand. I am not here as a civilian witness, she says. The room shifts before she says more. Elijah turns. Denise tightens her arm around Layla. Ms. Kerr looks from Naomi's face to the sealed packet as if the missing piece slides into place. Hale laughs, too loud and too fast. Now she wants a title. Naomi reaches into her purse and removes one slim, black wallet. She opens it only enough for the judge to see the credentials inside. Captain Naomi Brooks, she says. Military police, Special Investigations Liaison. I requested protected records after my brother's arrest report matched an open complaint pattern. The gallery breaks into whispers. Hale points at her. Fake. The word sounds smaller than he intends. Naomi closes the wallet and sets it beside the folder. Judge Pike studies her for a long second. Captain Brooks, why do you wait until now? Naomi does not look at Hale. Because Officer Hale needs the chance to act without knowing who stands in front of him. A woman in the second row whispers, Lord. Hale's face hardens. Your Honor, she admits entrapment. Ms. Kerr steps in. No, she admits observation. Hale turns on the lawyer. You planned this with her. I meet her in the hallway, Ms. Kerr says. Then she plans it alone. Naomi's voice stays even. Officer Hale, you record us outside my mother's building this morning. Hale freezes for half a beat. The judge leans forward. Is that true? Hale looks toward the gallery, then back to the bench. I document possible witness intimidation. Naomi raises one eyebrow. By a child with a pink backpack? Layla hides her face against Denise. The courtroom reacts, low and sharp. Judge Pike lifts his hand for silence. Hale steps closer to the defense table. She is turning this into theater. Naomi slides the black wallet toward Ms. Kerr. Counsel may verify my identification. Ms. Kerr examines it, then nods to the bench. Verified, Your Honor. The reporter writes so fast, her pen scratches the page. Hale's confidence buckles for one breath, then returns as anger. Even if she is who she says, that folder does not belong here. Judge Pike looks down at the packet. That is for the court to determine. Hale points at Tasha. And that archive file should remain sealed unless court administration releases it. Tasha's hand grips the black key. Judge Pike turns to her. Ms. Reed, stand. Tasha rises slowly. Hale stares at her like a door he expects to stay locked. Judge Pike's voice softens, but the question cuts through the room. Do any instructions exist to withhold, move, delete, hide, or delay any record connected to Elijah Brooks's case? Hale steps forward. Objection. Judge Pike looks at him. You are not counsel. Hale's mouth shuts. Tasha looks at Naomi. Naomi gives no signal. No nod. No rescue. Only space. Tasha looks at Elijah. His hands rest open on the table now, not clenched. His daughter watches from the front row with wet eyes and a fist around Denise's sleeve. Tasha swallows. Yes, she says. Public shock hits the room in waves. Hale moves so fast, the bailiff grabs his arm. Tasha, Hale snaps. Think carefully. Judge Pike stands halfway from his chair. Officer Hale, one more word to my clerk, and you will be removed. Hale pulls his arm free, but the bailiff stays between them. Tasha's voice shakes. The instruction says mark the body cam request as pending, move the duplicate archive note out of the visible file. Do not speak if Ms. Brooks comes to court. The judge's face hardens. Hale points at Naomi again, desperate now. She coached her. Naomi picks up the sealed folder and turns it so the red stamps face the bench. Your Honor, the packet contains no clerk statement. The judge looks at Tasha. Then who gives that instruction? Tasha's eyes lock on Hale. The green archive light blinks beside her monitor. Somewhere in the back row, a phone keeps recording. Hale's badge shines under the ceiling lights, but his hand trembles near his radio. Judge Pike lowers his voice. Answer under oath now, Ms. Reed. The whole courtroom waits. Tasha opens her mouth, but the side door swings wide before his name leaves her tongue at once. Chief Court Marshal Renee Vaughn steps through the side door with two deputies behind her. Her eyes move from Hale's hand near his radio to Tasha's open drawer, then to Naomi standing beside the defense table. She carries a thin tablet and a printed incident sheet. Your Honor, Vaughn says, the court security system flags a restricted archive access request from Department 12. Hale turns pale beneath the courtroom lights. Judge Pike points to the well of the court. Marshal Vaughn, secure the doors. Nobody leaves. The gallery stiffens. Phones stay raised. The reporter stops writing and watches Hale instead. Hale forces a laugh. This is absurd. Naomi does not move. Her cheek stays lifted, her eyes steady. Judge Pike looks at Tasha. Answer the question. Tasha grips the edge of her desk. Officer Hale gives the instruction, she says. Hale lunges one step toward her. A deputy blocks him. She lies. Tasha flinches, then finds Naomi across the room. Naomi gives her nothing but calm. No pressure, no demand. Just space to stand inside truth. Tasha wipes her face with one shaking hand. He comes to my desk before court opens, she says. He says Elijah Brooks's paperwork needs to disappear from the active stack. He says if Captain Brooks asks about File B, I should say there is no duplicate archive. Hale points at her. You have no proof. Tasha opens the drawer wider and removes a folded yellow note. Vaughn steps forward and takes it with gloved hands. Judge Pike's voice drops. Read it. Vaughn unfolds the paper. Move Brooks' file to pending. Keep B archive closed. If sister appears, notify Hale. The courtroom breaks into noise. Judge Pike slams his hand on the bench. Silence. Hale looks at the doors, then at his radio. A deputy shifts closer. Naomi finally lifts the blue folder. Your Honor, the packet also contains a report comparison. Ms. Kerr takes it from her and passes one page to the bench. Judge Pike reads fast. His lips press into a line. The arrest report states Mr. Brooks strikes Officer Hale at 7:48 p.m. Dispatch shows Officer Hale requests routine backup at 7:46 with no injury code. The body cam upload marker appears at 8:10. Ms. Kerr speaks before Hale can. And the report entered today says the camera fails before contact. Hale shakes his head. Upload markers prove nothing. Vaughn looks at Tasha. Pull the duplicate. Tasha taps two keys. A monitor near the bench wakes. The courtroom video feed appears first, frozen on Hale standing inches from Naomi. Hale's voice comes from the speaker. One last time, leave this courtroom now. Naomi's voice follows. Lower. Do not touch me. Then the video jumps forward. Hale's hand rises. The room watches his palm strike Naomi's face. Elijah covers his mouth. Denise pulls Layla into her chest. The gallery falls into a silence so deep Hale's breathing fills the space. Naomi does not look at the screen. She looks at the judge. Hale tries to step back. She provokes me. Judge Pike stands fully now. No, you assault her in my courtroom after a clear warning. Vaughn nods to both deputies. Hale lifts his hands. Your Honor, I am an officer. Judge Pike's eyes do not move. Not in this courtroom. The deputies take Hale by both arms. He jerks once, then freezes when Vaughn reaches for his badge. Pending review, Vaughn says. She removes it from his belt and places it on the clerk's desk. The sound of metal touching wood cuts through the room. Hale stares at the badge, like the table steals his name. Judge Pike turns to Ms. Kerr. Counsel, based on the evidence before this court, I suspend all proceedings against Elijah Brooks pending a full evidentiary hearing. The state will answer for the altered report, the missing archive note, and Officer Hale's conduct. Elijah bends forward, tears hitting his hands. Naomi places one hand on his shoulder, still standing. Hale looks at her, anger stripped down to fear. You set me up. Naomi's voice stays quiet. No, I let you speak. Tasha begins to cry, but she does not sit. There is one more name, she says. The judge freezes. Hale's head snaps toward her. Vaughn raises a hand for the deputies to hold him still. Tasha reaches into the drawer again and pulls out a second note, smaller than the first. It was not only Hale, she says. Naomi looks at the note, then at the judge. Judge Pike lowers himself back into the chair, his face hard. Read the name. Tasha unfolds the second note with both hands. Her voice shakes, but she does not lower her eyes. Sergeant Cole Mercer, she says. The courtroom reacts at once. One of the officers against the wall looks toward the side door. Hale shuts his eyes for 1 second, and Naomi sees the truth in that pause. Judge Pike leans forward. Explain his role. Tasha points to the note. He supervises evidence intake for Officer Hale's unit. He calls me yesterday. He says the Brooks file needs to stay quiet because Captain Brooks asks too many questions. Naomi's face stays still, but Elijah turns toward her. You knew Mercer too? Naomi keeps her voice low. I knew someone above Hale signs the trail. Vaughn takes the second note and hands it to Judge Pike. The judge reads it once, then looks at Hale. Officer Hale, you are detained pending investigation for assault in court, evidence tampering, intimidation of court staff, and false statements made before this bench. Hale jerks against the deputy's hands. You cannot do that. Judge Pike's voice cuts through him. I already have. Vaughn removes Hale's radio. A deputy secures his hands. This time, Hale does not look powerful. He looks trapped by the same room he tried to control. The doors open again. A senior deputy enters with Sergeant Mercer in plain clothes. Mercer stops when he sees Hale restrained, Tasha standing, and Naomi beside the defense table. His face gives him away before he speaks. Your Honor, Mercer says, I am here for another matter. Judge Pike lifts the second note. Then you arrived in time for this one. Mercer looks at Tasha. She takes one step back, but she does not sit. Vaughn turns to the deputies. Hold Sergeant Mercer outside this courtroom until Internal Affairs arrives. Mercer tries to speak, but the deputy at the door guides him back. The gallery watches in stunned silence as two men with badges lose control within minutes. Ms. Kerr presses one hand to Elijah's file. Your Honor, the defense moves to dismiss all charges against Elijah Brooks. The prosecutor stands slowly from the state table. His voice sounds smaller than it did when court began. The state does not oppose dismissal at this time. Elijah looks at Naomi, then at Layla. He cannot speak. Judge Pike signs the order. Case dismissed. The words hit Elijah's body like a door opening. His knees bend. Ms. Kerr grabs his arm before he drops. Denise cries without covering her face. Layla pulls away from her grandmother and runs straight into her father's arms. Daddy, you are coming home? Elijah holds her so tight, his papers fall from the table. I am coming home. Naomi looks away for 1 second, giving him that moment. Judge Pike turns to Tasha. Ms. Reed, this court records that you reported coercion under pressure. Marshal Vaughn will see that your employment is protected while this matter is reviewed. Tasha nods through tears. Thank you, Your Honor. Naomi finally turns to her. You did the hard part. Tasha shakes her head. You gave me room to do it. Hale hears that and looks at Naomi one last time. You think this makes you untouchable? Naomi steps closer, not enough for the deputies to move. No, it makes the record honest. Vaughn signals. Hale is led toward the side door. No one speaks as his shoes cross the same floor where he tried to shame her. His badge stays on the clerk's desk, dull under the lights. Outside, afternoon sun hits the courthouse steps. Naomi walks out with Elijah on one side and Denise on the other. Layla skips 2 steps ahead, clutching the dismissal order like a school award. Reporters call Naomi's name, but she does not stop. Denise touches Naomi's cheek where Hale struck her. You did not let him take your name. Naomi's eyes soften for the first time all day. He was never holding it. Elijah turns toward her, still holding Layla's hand. I thought silence meant losing. Naomi looks down at Layla, then back at him. Silence is not surrender when you are protecting the truth. Layla steps close and touches Naomi's sleeve. Aunt Naomi, were you scared? Naomi kneels until they are eye to eye. Yes. Layla frowns. But you did not run. Naomi takes the child's hand, because courage is staying steady long enough for truth to reach the room. Behind them, courthouse doors open. Tasha comes out with Vaughn beside her. The reporter follows, riding fast. Across the street, Mercer is placed into a black sedan. Hale sits in another vehicle with his head down. Elijah watches, then exhales like he has carried that breath for months. Naomi stands with her family on the steps where fear followed them in. Now the same steps hold proof, relief, and a name no slap erases.